Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brycero Valorant Scrim Night. I'm your host, Brycero, alongside the wonderful and amazing that boy Al Templeton, joining me tonight to cast some Valorant. We're going to be checking out some awesome, well, we got some amateur players, but we also got some awesome, dedicated Valorant competitive players joining us tonight that I am super excited to see. We got a super diverse roster that we actually drafted last night in a live draft, which was super awesome. And now we get to see in a best of three who comes out on top. Al, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm always happy to see some of the boys of Big Pizza coming out. I, for those of you who don't know, one of our players, Toasty Unicorns, was formerly on a team known as Big Pizza, an amazing team. I've had the pleasure of casting them and observing them in some of our tournaments, and they've come up against some pretty big name opposition. I believe they even took a game off of T1 Academy, which is amazing. So I'm excited to see how they do in these games. It's going to be an absolute scorcher.
Absolutely. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing not just Toasty Unicorns, but I'm also really looking forward to see some of those Diamond 3 players, Diamond 1 player as well, really going to be interesting to see how they play up against an actual tier 2 Valorant player. All right, we're going to be sending the lobby in just a moment here. Let's go ahead and take a look really fast at our map picks. Oh shoot, where is that graphic gone? It has disappeared for me.
It's on the screen behind you.
Yeah, it is on the screen behind me. Let me just get this here. I don't know where that went. So we'll pull up the screen behind me really fast. And there we go. So let's take a look at these map picks here. We got Haven up first. We're starting a little bit late here, 30 minutes late. But we've got Ascent up second and Bind up third, if needed. Well, Team Greg is going to be attacking first here on Haven, which means they'll get the defender side in the second half. That is going to be very interesting to see if they take advantage of it or not. Whether or not they'll be able to use Haven's defender side in order to see if they can secure themselves their first win in this best of three.
Yeah, Haven is unfortunately for Team Sky going to be a bit more of an attacker-sided map. Very hard to attack with those. Very hard to defend. Sorry, with those three sites. And so we'll be able to see how teams approach this now. Now that we do have Killjoy, she has been making her way into the highest level of Valorant. Very good at holding down those sites. So I'm going to be excited to see how these teams really utilize these new changed operators and whether they are going to pick this Sage up now that she's been pretty heavily nerfed.
All right, let's take a look at our team rosters, who we've got playing tonight.
Choose your agent.
And it looks like somebody has not chosen their agent in the lobby. We've got Faith, also known as a Wild Jive. She is filling in for Sky tonight. Unfortunately, Team Sky captain could not join us tonight. So that is unfortunate. But we've also got, of course, Toasty Unicorns, Dason. We've also got Siebes joining us tonight, as well as Yuffie. Now, those last two on Team Sky are brand new additions. They're having to fill in for dropouts, and I believe we are in the game now. We will go ahead and take you guys there right now as we check out what will be a very interesting matchup, in my opinion. Seeing these, of course, we got Toasty Unicorns, the tier 2 player. Of course, a very diverse roster of players, ranging all the way from bronze up to Diamond 3.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to see how teams approach players who are mechanically just much more skilled than them. So we're gonna see a lot of these higher tier players really
Revealing
pop
area.
off, and I'm gonna be excited to see how they can perform.
Well, it looks like they're gonna be setting up towards B, which is an interesting first map, interesting first site to go after. As Arstuck gets the first frag in on that B site. Ufi going up against Penguin here.
We can get some really cool split strategies coming out, but it looks like they're just gonna go for kills. Does not matter what the defense has thrown at them. These guys are just moving forward.
Planted the spike.
No regard for their opposition. And Team Greg looking to make this an absolutely flawless round.
Wow.
One, but Penguin's just taking him out, and that is a dominant start from Team Greg.
Absolutely. I mean, they still have 4 players left. I mean, that was making a statement. Just completely wiping out Team Sky there on that B site push. 1 by 1, getting the picks they needed. Very impressive first start.
Yeah, that's really great to see coming out from them. Of course, you're going to be able to deny those ultimate points to your opponents from the kills. So they'll stay relatively equal after the plant goes down, and they do get the points for losing the round. But that's really cool to see, and Team Sky gonna have to bring this fun back.
Check out Faith here having to fight that Jet, and she is not going to survive that fight, as they now have free access onto this B site. Down goes Yuffie, and down goes Dason as well.
Penguins of Space finding a kill onto Dason, and it is just left into a 2v5. Toasty Unicorns left alive, one of the players that you would love to see left alive, and he will find one of those kills and combine for 2. And Team Sky looking to be not out of the round just yet. The Paranoia going to delay them for just a bit of time.
Toasty with 3!
Off the double, and that will be a 1v1 left alive. He picks up the ghost, looking for the swing, and he picks it up. 4 kills on the round. That is an absolute monstrous performance. 2 rounds in, and he will also find that ultimate. That is a monstrous performance from him.
Dude, that is so impressive. Wow. Talk about a clutch by Toasty there. He's now got his ultimate. It's very interesting to see how he uses that. Ultimate there. First ultimate to come online will be for Team Skies. We've now got a tied game 1-1 in these early pistol rounds.
Yeah, the ultimate being a 7-point ultimate on the Sova, you wouldn't expect to see it even 3 rounds in, but just incredible performance from him, and he's just gonna look to continue this rampage.
Well, it looks like they're setting up towards A site. We got Toasty defending that first on A long. Gonna be interesting how this plays out. Toasty versus Jay, right about to happen here. Jay, Toasty with the trigger discipline. He's not.
Yeah, with the trigger discipline, looking for the multi-kill, but instead he gambles and he finds nothing. As CS able to hold down the site before being taken out. That is a 3-on-4 rotations coming in, as Yuffie just clotheslines down that Reyna 4 position over towards the site. Now Team Sky just getting themselves into a good position. Yuffie, hearing that sound cue, will not look to go for the teleport, instead just lurking in the smoke as they just kind of hold off Penguins of Space on that aggressive push. Looks to just seal out this round, but Dason having things in mind as he looks to find this clutch, and it will have to be a triple kill and a 1v2 if he looks to find the round win. Finds a headshot onto Clams.
1v1.
Now 1v1 enabled, but it's a very difficult proposition as Penguins knows where he is, and taking that out for the triple kill. So close, but so far away.
I mean, you have to admit, that was a very impressive performance by Penguin there with the clutch. Honestly, out of all of the players on Team Greg's roster, I'm not sure I would have expected Penguin and that Omen to clutch it. But yet, here we got it. Penguin with a very impressive clutch there. Unfortunately, with the 2v1, just couldn't quite pull it off. Team Sky just couldn't quite pull that off.
Yeah, Penguins of Space unranked currently, so a bit of an unknown quantity. So definitely factoring into his favor as he really is just stepping up in this game. Toasty Unicorns dropping down that Sova ultimate early on to find the marks that he needed, and that Reina of Daddy able to find 2 entry frags, getting that overheal to stay alive later on as well. Popping that initial Cypher ultimate, just going to give them that much more confidence as they push on towards the site. Shock Arrow able to find some damage, but they are just rolling over their opponents this time around. Toasty Unicorn standing absolutely no chance as it is just left onto CS4 314. Just a flurry of kills, but Team Greg just dominating their opponents.
Absolutely, and I think CS 314 is going to go for the save here, honestly. He's just got to go for the save. I mean, maybe we'll see a little bit of action of him versus Greg here on this A garden position that he's holding. Oh, he's got the kill! And the dash! They know where he is now, though. But he should be safe with that bomb going off.
Yeah, that is definitely a good sign for them. But really, on a bonus round, that really should go your favor. Keeping one player alive with an SMG really isn't too much to really be proud of.
Yeah.
Especially, but all things considered, they are on the defense side. Haven tends to be one of the more attacker-sided maps. 3 bomb sites, 3 positions to defend. Just favors the attackers as they're able to just storm their way onto a single site with much less resistance from the defense.
Looks like they're gonna go B here, which means it's up to Faith, who's the only Team Sky player to hold down this B site. Of course, now they're all starting to move in there. There's Jason trying to clutch it out with that run it back.
Yeah, Daddy with the Reina just stepping up. He's been absolutely incredible. Really just a monstrous performance from him. Already 9-2, 4 rounds into the game. He's just stepping up incredibly for Team Greg.
And Penguin Space, the pretty solid frag there on Yuffie. It's now 3v4. Spike's still not down. We'll watch the plans here.
319 on that flank, able to find one, collapsing on their opponents. And all of a sudden, it was looking so good for Team Greg, but Team Sky just collapsing on them with the Unicorns picking up that final frag.
We have got a good game here, 2-3. Team Sky trying to show, hey, they may have gotten 2 rounds in a row on us, but we're still in this.
Yeah, and adding on to that, they have that operator online. We've seen this weapon be pretty much the crux of North American Valorant for pretty much the past few months. It is so difficult to push out of position. We've seen some changes to Breach to allow attackers having more of that utility to push them out of position. But really, it's going to look to be a dominant weapon and one that Toasty is going to be very comfortable with holding down the C side.
Arselect Diamond 1 with the first kill in this, as he's looking to set up towards C. But he's trying to get some intel on that B site, actually. See if he can flank on in here. He's going to meet Faith, immediately goes down. Faith. As they've now got an empty site. And
yes, 4-3-1-4, playing that lurking role to a T. He's found 2 kills, 2 successful flanks time and time again. This time it will not pan out for them as they would like to see. We see just the replay going absolutely the favor of Team Greg. That operator not so great in those close quarters. 3-on-2 with one of your players already being trapped over towards this team spawn, not boding well for the side of Team Sky, as all of a sudden Dean being taken out leaves this Jet as the lone remaining player. And as we can see, recent change to that stage wall, it does strengthen with time going past. And Jet not quite able to get her way on towards site, not clearing this area, and this
doesn't see Greg at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whiffle hit her at final kill. And Team Sky, they were looking so good, but they're just out on their tails.
Absolutely. So, looks like we got 2 ults online for Team Sky, and only 1 ult, that Omen ult, online for Team Greg. Do you think they're gonna save that Omen ult, or do you think they'll actually utilize it and try to get some information with it?
Yeah, Omen Ultimate is very difficult to use correctly. It does have the ability to get those flanks, but more importantly, it is pretty much just a ward that you're able to deny that information to your opponents. Once again, Daddy just stepping up, and Team Greg just seems so confident with their frags. As Heartstruck Diamond 1 stepping up, Whiffle Hitter as well. All of these players are hitting their shots, and it is incredible to see as they are just stepping up.
And they're not just hitting their shots, they're hitting their shots quickly. They're not wasting much time. They're making their pushes very quick, and now they've got an open C site that they can go down and place this bomb on.
Tripwire destroyed.
Yeah, we can see the member Jet on the defensive side. She goes for this flank time and time again. And while she's able to make her way past that Cypher utility, it is at the cost of time. And a flawless round going over towards Team Greg.
Flawless performance by Team Greg, actually. Nobody died there. I don't even think they had to plant the bomb.
Yeah, that was just a domination from them. And it really is just good for the attackers to keep up that streak. As the economy is so very important on this map.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how do you think, if they keep losing rounds, how do you think Team Sky's going to come back with a wrecked economy?
I think they really need to eco for a couple rounds and then get a double operator set up. The operator's so good at holding down an angle on long A as well as long C. They're both going to be very difficult
I know exactly
attack,
where you are.
when you have those operators available. But without those operators, you're really going to be struggling. And as we can see, Team Sky very much struggling as Daddy on the Reyna once again, just stepping up, finding these entries time and time again.
CS14 with a jet kill. Jet ult kill.
Must have missed that. That audio cue just passing unnoticed. The Penguins of Space just lurking forward, just finding those trade frags time and time again. And a 3-on-2 over towards this A site. Looking very beneficial, but a roam coming in from Yuffie, not quite having the weaponry to capitalize on that.
You will not
I know exactly where you
This is
are.
looking very good for the side.
And just like that, it looks like they've got the control they need. Very, very, very aggressive Sage res there. I was not expecting that from Greg. And just like that, almost a flawless performance with the exception of Daddy, unfortunately, goes down in some of those frags.
Yeah, but Reyna, we haven't seen find a ton of footing at the top hold of performance, but with some more of these frag-heavy matches, her real power can shine, and just getting these Empresses up more often, as well as those secondary utilities, just going to be so impressive as she's just continuing just a flawless performance. 12 and 5, just 8 rounds in.
Toasty's using some interesting arrows, and he's not going to get much information there, unfortunately. We'll see how CS4314 holds up here, as we've now got contact there. Yeah, he's just going to go instantly down. Now it is up to Toasty here to stop this push. Dason comes in with support with the run it back. Dason gets some information, but cannot get the frag. Does some pretty decent damage there.
Yeah, we can see frags going back and forth, but time and time again they are favoring Greg as they're coming out on top.
Revealing
Those two
area.
unicorns though looking to change that in their favor as he finds the double, shutting down that Reyna who's been so problematic for them, finding themselves the third round. This is looking very good, as now with a round stolen away, they will be able to build up some of the economy. But Team Greg just holding on. They just look so good.
I am definitely surprised we have not seen more operators this round, in this match so far. I know the economy's been a little bit back and forth so far, as Team Greg has seemed to be a bit more aggressive, but they have lost a couple of crucial rounds economy-wise. I'm surprised though with double jet setup here that we're not seeing more operators.
Yeah, it definitely is a weapon that you would like to see, but Toasty Unicorns, the man who was running that operator the first time that we saw it, looking very proficient on this Vandal as he is just showing up this time around. Finding a 4K in that second round, as well as some amazing multi-frags this time around. Really expecting him to show up as he is easily one of the most qualified players in this lobby, showing up against some of the best players in North America. As once again, we see the Reyna stepping up again, finding those frags. That is exactly what you need if you are a Reyna. And just the rotations, A side is left completely open.
Oh, they have that information now, though. As Clams hits that tripwire, he's going to place that on a cage, and he's going to plant down that spike as well. But now Dason is on site. He's ready to try to counter this A-side push.
Yeah, decent utility usage from the defenders, but just a lack of information as they do not have anyone on the A-side. That recon bolt going to do wonders for them. If they know where the opponents are, if they are not able to hit their shot. CS4-3-1-4, able to hit 2 before being taken out by Clams, and that is just a flurry of frags that Team Greg seems to absolutely thrive in.
Rank of Greg's top fragger, asked the Twitch chat. Greg's top fragger is actually, believe it or not, Iron 1 ranked. So very interesting to see how he is top fragging with that Reyna. I thought it was a bit scary for them to have their Iron 1 ranked player go for the Reyna. But yet here she is top fragging. I mean, that's what you want to see if you're Team Greg. Very, very solid performance from them so far.
Yeah, and her opponents are no slouches either. Yuffie, Plat 3 in the previous season is currently on rank, as well as Toasty Unicorns, as I alluded to, a solid tier 2 player with Immortal 3. So this is a crazy performance from an Iron 1 player.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I would have expected that at all if I'm that Immortal 3 player. You would have expected that Diamond player, who is currently the second fragger for Team Greg. I would have expected that player, Jay, to be top fragging. But hey, I mean, we'll take it. If Snoopy wants to pop off, Snoopy can pop off for sure.
Yeah, that has been absolutely incredible to see. Toasty Unicorn's a man of the hour. The one that I really expected to see stepping up, finding those kills, but will be challenged. Clash of the Titans goes down.
He went to space with the wallbang!
Beautiful wallbangs coming out. But really, Team Sky looking like they've turned a corner as they are taking this lead, and just Penguins of Space left alive in one. Surely he will not be able to do this. He finds a first kill. A good step, but the step taken, very loud sound cues given away to his opponents, and he will just be hunted down, looking for maybe one exit frag, but instead he will be just left alive. Team Sky prioritizing their economy, and they'll just leave him alive as the time ticks down.
He is so low. Honestly, they should have just pushed. I don't think he would have been able to get any frags on them. But he gets to keep that weapon. 23 HP. Last round before the switch here. What do you think we'll expect in the second half?
I think this is going to be a hard-fought match. Daddy will definitely need to show up. Being on the attack, you do have the opportunity for multi-frags, but not nearly as much as when you're on the defense. And I think that this Reyna is really going to really show up around this mid position that we see some teams like Sentinels try and run it. So I think that'll be interesting to see. And Greg, looking at finding this 8-4 would be a very good scoreline for pretty much both teams.
There's that operator.
Yeah, I expected this to be on the defensive side. Goes in with the ultimate, finds one before being taken out. Toasty Unicorns finding a double kill before falling back, keeping this. Team Greg does find the post plant position, but Jet able to equalize this down. Now into a 3-on-2 Penguins of Space. Caught lacking as a Cypher able to get a double entry on towards his site, and it looks like Team Sky have just awakened in the second part of this first half. They come away with 5-7 scoreline, and this is a very good position for this defense first half.
Okay, that Cypher, that was clutch. Like, talk about, I mean, not quite bottom fragger for Team Sky, but like, the fact that those players, even at the bottom, can come in clutch like that with that double, that says a lot about Team Sky's composition.
Yeah, it's just gonna be pretty crazy to see how these players show up on the second half. I'm really excited. We've seen that anything can happen. We have an Iron 1 player top fragging against some previous professional players. So this is going to be an absolute scorcher of a match.
You have to admit, the diverse roster of players we have here, it's making for a crazy matchup. 5-7 here as we start the second half. Heartstuck Diamond 1 with the first entry frag there on the defender's side. But now they have the information, so do you think attackers rotate? Looks like they will.
Yeah, they find resistance on one side of the map, and as soon as that happens, they're just going to dip and rotate over towards the other side. And it looks like an absolute genius play that could have worked out in their favor, as now there's nobody over towards this side. Cypher Camera taken out, a 4v5, but they will have that spike plant going down and map control over towards this site. They're just going to be spamming through these smokes. Yuffie going to be holding down this site as Toasty Unicorns on the other side of the map, finding a kill for himself, holding down this long position. So we see the battle of the spams just going the way of Team Sky, as they're able to manage this attacking post-plant position just better than their opponents. Is now just the Omen left alive on the spawn. It's going to be a monstrous challenge for him, and he is not able to do that. Toasty Unicorns finding the frag as the attackers find their first round on this second half.
You have to admit, if you're Team Sky, that is exactly the kind of start that you want to start off the second half. Had a very shaky first half, as Team Greg really looked like they were in control that first half. And yet, here they are, starting off with a good pistol round for Team Sky.
Yeah, I think that they're really just doing a great job. I'm excited for them. I think that they're really stepping up with regard of them. And now, with the opportunity, the better weaponry into this round, they're looking to make this a round parity for the first time in this game. And Dean starting it off well with a great Bulldog kill, utilizing that burst, just one tapping that ran it down long. And once again, C-site left open. Team Sky going to have the ability to just rotate over towards them. That jet
goes down fast.
Anything, that burst fire just coming out with that Bulldog. And just aggression from the side of Team Sky as Toasty Unicorns able to find a kill in through Garage. And now just a 2v5 spike going down. Toasty Unicorns finding a second kill of his own, just left on the moment. Will find a beautiful headshot, absolutely stepping up, but will be shut down. One is all he can do.
You have to admit, considering he has the Marshall, that was a very impressive play, even though he goes out. I mean, talk about some aggression there from Team Sky. I mean, from Team Greg, actually.
Yeah, one thing that I do want to critique, they did quite heavily invest into that second round, and that will cost them this bonus round, as they do need to pretty much full eco. Penguins of Space once again buying up the Marshall, but it will cost them. They're not going to have a full belt of utility moving into this third round, as now we can see Team Sky, they have so much more weaponry, and they are just barreling down towards this B site. As we can see, Toasty Unicorns looking like he's going to take the first engagement over towards this garage position. Will not, and instead it is Penguins of Space getting close blind on the rotate. But with the inferior weaponry, Team Greg are able to find two quick kills, snab some of those weapons for themselves. This is going to be a very close eco round, as Yuffie looking to find some kills in towards this mid position.
Check out Heartstuck Diamond 1 going for the push there. Gets the first frag on Yuffie, but gets taken down immediately by Toasty Unicorns. And we got a 2v2 situation here. Tied 7-7. Daddy takes down Dason. It's now up to Toasty.
Taken out.
Yeah, we saw Toasty get a beautiful multi-kill in the second round, making that 1v4 a possibility. And he will have to do this time again as he finds a second kill in this round, putting himself into a 1v1. Drones out that location, finds
I have the spike.
that information, knows where Reyna could be approaching him from. Instead, looks to go for the rotate, but Reyna already in position, but it will not matter. It's a beautiful headshot for the triple kill.
What a clutch from Toasty Unicorns, and honestly, that is the player that you expect to perform well in that type of situation. He played it beautifully, tried to get the information, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the information, so he went for the plant as he was running out of time. Thankfully, able to get that headshot. I mean, that was well done. Well done by Toasty Unicorns getting that clutch when it mattered most. And check this out in the second half. Team Sky has won 3 in a row, really turning the momentum of this game around in the second half on Haven.
Yeah, this map really is very attacker-sided, and Team Sky looking at doing a better job than their opponents on this side, as they are just dominating and moving on towards the C side. Toasty Unicorns watching over towards Garage, recognizing that that flank is a possibility. They do have a tripwire behind, but Toasty Unicorns will move back over to deal with this, as it looks like they are now moving in for this. Toasty Unicorns finding the first kill of this round. A bit of a standoff, as we already see the spike going down, ticked down quite some time. Team Greg are going to need to move for this retake even later, and we can see the operator taken out by the Vandal at distance. Toasty Unicorns finding a kill himself, 2 kills into this round. It is just left onto the Reyna of Daddy, not quite finding the effectiveness that she has found in this first half, as Team Sky just dominating their opponents and looking like they are just stepping up in this second half.
Daddy really fighting off that push from Team Sky pretty hard. Oh, unfortunately it goes down though.
Oh,
they lose that
flank.
operator.
And that's after time. He will not get the loss bonus, and that will just really sting for them. 5,000 credits still available. We'll be able to buy light armor as well as the operator, but choosing to go for utility instead. And Team Sky, they are just so on point.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about a very, very, very aggressive start to the second half from Team Sky.
Get out of my way!
I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better start to the second half on Haven. I mean, we were really worried about their economy. They weren't doing too strong in the first half, and now, really, it looks like
Get out of my way!
they're not saving yet on Team Greg, but they might need to very soon.
Yeah, I really would like to see them get these operators available, as right now, just with the rifles, the side of Team Sky are just dominating them. It's the casters. As soon as I say something, Team Greg just have to prove me wrong, and they are just doing that, as now in post-plant position, they have the advantage. Empress pump for Daddy will be in hell, a very difficult position to see, as she will be just slammed out. Toasty Unicorns going for that swing, will be able to find damage, finding that final frag, finding a double kill this time around, and really with the time ticked down, despite having the man advantage for so long in this round, it looks like Team Sky will just be able to capitalize on that, as now they're just waiting too long.
Toasty with the brilliant ult!
Out. And that Sova ultimate, he just plays that to perfection, and we can see why he is arguably the best player in this lobby, as he is just standing up. And if we can see the scoreboard, 24-9, that is a dominant scoreline, just 17 rounds in.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can pull up that replay. We've been having a little bit of an issue with our replay system tonight. Yeah, it doesn't look like that was the right replay, unfortunately. Sorry about that, guys. That was an awesome clutch, though, by Toasty to go ahead and prevent that last-second defuse.
Need healing.
And apparently, he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly where that spike was, because that ultimate could not have been more perfect.
Yeah, I think that that just goes down to some amazing game sense from Toasty Unicorns. Of course, being one of the competitive players, he is just he has nerves of steel, and he just sets himself up perfectly. Heartstuck down in one, finding 2 kills with himself, really not letting Team Greg fall by the wayside as they once again step up. Penguins finding a kill. Toasty Unicorns trading one out, but Penguins of Space coming out on top and is just left onto Yuffie. He found a double kill in the previous round, really stepping up in that 2v2 with Toasty Unicorns, but this is going to be a monstrous task as he does lurk in towards this garage position. Might be able to catch Penguins out unawares, takes down his duplicate.
The teleport fake.
Out the teleport. Big brain plays coming out from him. And now we can see Jet on the minimap doubling back will be able to allow this plant to go down. But even more big brain plays coming out as Yuffie drops over towards this A site, but it might have worked out against him as the Jet finding that frag against him on the rotate quickly. And that was just a bit too big brain as he teleports into the favor of Team Greg.
Absolutely, and honestly, I thought he would get the clutch there. It seemed like an impossible job for him with the 3v1, but man, I mean, that was an absolute big brain of a play there by Yuffie. He was bottom fragging for a little while, now appears to be the second to bottom fragger there for Team Skies. He has definitely stepped up in these later rounds, and looks like Team Greg trying to make a comeback here. We still got a very close game here, 10-8.
Yeah, that is a must-win round for the side of Team Greg. Not only did they have their backs up against the walls, would have been forced one closer towards match point, their economy would have been destroyed. That being said, they still are in a very precarious position to see us. Finding an initial kill over towards the C-side. Rotations are going to come in thick and fast, but it is going to be very difficult now. Push into a 4-on-3. Now into a 2-on-5. Sorry, as just Jet and Toasty Unicorn stepping up. And absolutely incredible play. Once again, we will be left with an Omen in a 1vx scenario, but this time it is Penguin left alive in a 1v5. This is going to be pretty much a game over for him in this round, and Team Sky looking to push this closer towards a match 1 victory.
This is not, yeah, I was about to say that is not going to be pretty for Penguin. All he's got is a Spectre, 1v5. Flawless performance there by Toasty Unicorns and the rest of Team Sky, really showing their command in the second half of this map.
Yeah, they're just showing up in spades, and I think that is exactly what they needed. Getting off to a bit of a slow start, as we would expect from the defense on the side of Haven. But after they took control of the match, coming back in that previous half to make that 7-5, they've just looked absolutely dominant. What would you like to see coming up from Team Greg to really take this forward?
Honestly, I think they need to really hold their sights better. I don't think they're setting up their players in the right spots. I think they need to move things around and see if they can't get some better players and try to guess more of what Team Sky is doing.
Yeah, we will see them take the advantage in this round. Team Sky playing the Sageless composition will suffer as 2 of their players tack down early. Will find themselves into a 4v4 situation, but Team Greg definitely out on top. 2 ultimates to the 1 of Team Sky. And definitely weapons and especially health going to the favor of Team Greg. But the ultimate pop for CS will allow them to push in towards mid. Toasty Unicorns looking at holding down this angle, but CS just finding those kills instead as he just shuts them down, opening this round up. And while Team Greg were in a very good position, they are just absolutely shut down as Toasty Unicorns putting the final seal on that envelope. Signed seal delivered, and Team Sky booked themselves a 0.2 match point.
Yeah, and that will be their first series point in this best of 3 if they are able to pull it off. How do you think what sort of weapons composition do you think that Team Greg needs to, do they need to save? Half save, like half buy? Like, what do you think they need to pull off here if they want to get this next round?
In any other situation, I think they need to save. However, it's match point. You can't save when you're on match point and hope for a miracle. Instead, you're going to have to buy and also hope for a miracle. As they're back there against the wall, they need an operator. They don't have enough money for it, and they're really going to suffer against the superior utility and weaponry of their opponents. But right as I say that, Heartstuck Diamond 1 finding the triple kill with that ultimate, making use of that weaponry, finding a quad kill.
No way.
This man is on. That is incredible, and it is just left on to Dason. Finding damage is exactly what he will need to do, and he will not even be able to do that as Heartstuck Diamond 1 finding an ace, and that is the miracle that Team Greg needed.
Absolutely. Talk about a miracle there for Heartstuck Diamond 1, also known as Jay on our Discord. He's 23-17 right now. Now the brand new top fragger. I think that ace really helped him out there in the leaderboard. Man, I mean, talk about a dominant performance for him. That is exactly what Team Greg needed if they want to avoid losing that first series point to Team Sky in this best of 3. Yuffie now with the operator though, so keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, they're not quite out of the fire yet, as they are definitely still in a precarious position. Team Sky making an aggressive push over towards this B site as they already find control. Dropping those smokes down with that Omen allows them to get control of this B site. They don't have the Sage though. One of the crucial positions for making this play work, but usually holding down this one with the operator, really setting this up, finding a second kill for himself, and it is now left onto a 2v4-2 off. 2 ultimates available as Golden Cabbage will have that revive available, but a very difficult position as that self-heal gonna be a very difficult proposition. Will take quite a lot more time to take place as they will rotate over towards the western side of the map to get this revive available. But Yuffie with that operator and with time ticking down is only going to make it more difficult. And now in a 3-on-2, only going to be a more difficult opportunity as Yuffie just able to spam through the smoke, able to find the first kill. Toasty Unicorns looking at securing this round, and Team Sky finding their first map. A very close 13-9 affair.
Wow. Expected a better first half to start the game. I mean, that was just insane. As we pull up the leaderboard here, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Well, let's sort this by team here so we can see how the teams did. Of course, Team Sky getting that first crucial series point here. Toasty Unicorns, to no surprise at all, top frags here, going 27-12 with an econ rating of 93. Wow, I mean, that was just dominated. That was just a domination there by Toasty.
I think my surprise of the match was how well Daddy on the Reyna performed. 21-18. Of course, you would typically expect a Reyna to be one of those top fragging operators, and he showed up. But more impressively is the player behind that Reyna, the person behind that keyboard, only Iron 1. Somehow I have a feeling that he's not going to be Iron 1 for very long, even though this is a bit more of a lighthearted match. Stepping up and playing so well against their opponents individually. The members of Team Sky have shown up. Heartstuck Diamond 1, in fact, the match MVP, outperforming Toasty Unicorns in CS 4-3-1-4 in terms of that combat score. That's pretty crazy. We're getting some allegations in the chat that Clams was hacking. Down there, 5-16 on that cipher. Definitely suspicious. I keep my eyes out on him for game 2.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to admit that cipher there on the bottom, very concerning indeed. I mean, 9 plants though. I mean, he was definitely their spike carrier for sure. What do you think Team Greg needs to do to get this second map, which will be Ascent? Of course, coming up next.
I think that one of the things is definitely you do have to have your players all stepping up. Uh, Although Cypher, as your man, to go for the plants is a bit interesting. Typically, we see the Sage as that operator. If any of you are a fan of Rainbow Six Siege, many of you know operators like the Thermite. Typically, their goal is to go in, use their utility, plant the bomb, and die. And we typically see Sage comprise that role, but Clam doing that role to a T. 9 plants, the most of anybody on this team, in this game, in fact. I believe more plants than the rest of the lobby combined. So he's doing an incredible job.
Absolutely.
But I think they do need to facilitate those players more, as there is a massive gap between their third fragger in Penguins of Space and the rest of their team.
All right, well, we will take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Map 2 Ascent coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Brycero VALORANT Scrim night. I'm joined once again by our awesome caster, really carrying the broadcast tonight, that boy, Al. Welcome back, Al. We just got done with a very dominant first map performance by Team Sky. They started off really rusty and then just dominated the second half of Haven. Next up, we got Ascent. What do you think we expect on Ascent? Because Ascent is not something you see in Pro Valorant very often. It's not something that you see in really just any sort of professional play. But yet, Team Greg just decided out of the blue to pick Ascent. What do you think we got for Ascent?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more, I guess, stock standard maps. You have mid, and then you have one route to B and one route to A, and that's it. It's gonna all come down to how well these teams can either execute their default strategies or take control of mid. If the defense is able to shut down those default strategies and the attackers are not able to take control of mid, it's gonna be a wash. And if the attackers are able to really set up that mid control and really just play their opponents in terms of where those rotations go, then that's going to come down to that. It unfortunately does tend to be a very linear map. We only have 4 maps in the game, so we do have to go to one of our least favorite maps of either Ascent or Split, as many teams don't like those maps due to how either defender-sided they are in the terms of Split or how linear they are in terms of Ascent. So we do get a bit of a treat to see this map coming out, and I think it'll just come down to how well these two teams can execute and how well they can communicate where those players are in mid in order to really set themselves up for success.
Yeah, well, we've got a very interesting agent composition. I want to go ahead and pull up this graphic really fast, just because we forgot to show it in the before the first map. It's a very interesting agent composition we have. Of course, Team Sky going Sageless. I mean, it seems to have worked for them well in the first map. How do you think it'll work for them on Ascent going Sageless?
I think that it's going to work perfectly because their players step up and frag out. In terms of other teams, if you go Sageless, you're really relying on your players to step up. And in a lot of, at least pubs, in your ranked matches, you can't quite rely on that. You have players who can go off on a Jet, on a Raze, on a Reyna. But in terms of the whole team, you need them to all step up. And if you're most teams, that's not going to work. So moving into this second game, that Sageless composition really relies on teams to frag out. And if they're not able to do so, I think the team with Sage, they're just going to have that much more utility, that much more ability to slow their opponents down and play more strategically and away from that just raw fragging potential.
Well, we do actually have a correction to that agent selection graphic. Just as, of course, as we pull it up, we actually just got word in the game lobby that Jay, also known as Hardstack Diamond 1, who is on the Jet, is actually considering going Sova this round. So, That could be
Yeah,
that could work pretty well on Ascent. I mean, there's a lot of good arrows that you can use on Ascent.
Yeah, clearing out those positions early is very definitely a good strategy to have, especially as a lot of the opping on this map tends to be a lot more static. You don't necessarily need that jet to be right there, as you have a perfectly good place to just walk right back into. You don't need to have a dash to get across those zones like you would on a map like Bind. Or Split, where you typically see those, or Haven, where you see those operators really have to cover those long distances to fall back. So that might come out. Ascent, a bit more claustrophobic. Those shock darts definitely going to have more room to affect change onto their different strategies. So I'll be excited to see that. Of course, Sage recently being changed. How do you think that's going to affect our two teams when they pick up that operator?
Well, you know, honestly, with Sage, I think honestly going Sage on Team Greg was a mistake. I think you've got the Reyna carrying hard enough that honestly, you and all of Team Greg seem to be pretty self-sufficient. I don't really think we saw that Sage healing very often other players. In my opinion, I think they could have benefited more from maybe something like Brimstone or Breach that could counter the ops a little bit more. So if I were to redo agent selections, I probably would have gotten rid of the Sage. I think 2 Sageless compositions would have been better Valorant in my opinion, less messy.
Yeah, it definitely would have had them available for more of that fragging potential. Definitely an availability for them to step up. And I'll be excited to see how those bans come in as we are running down the clock. Just 2 seconds remaining until we will be able to get that sweet glimpse of our operator selections. Valorant, if any of you are watching who can change stuff at Riot, let us observe what teams are picking, because it'll make it really cool. We can talk about it instead of just like this minute of limbo that we sit in while we just wait for teams to pick those agents.
Absolutely. Well, we've got Ascent up next here, of course, with that A site and B site. How do you think that our good friends over at Team Sky are going to start off on the attacker side? Do you think they're going to go more A side or more B side? Maybe a little bit of both? Do you think they'll just sort of figure out what kind of works for them?
I think that unless you're very confident in your mid fragging potential and your ability to go forward, I think that really just sending it onto one site is the best option, especially if you know that your opponents have played Sage in the past. Going for those longer battles of attrition against an enemy that can heal is never going to work out unless you are every shot.
Just to add on to my point about going Sageless, I just wanted to point out that Golden Cabbage Greg on Team Greg did go Sageless. So we have 2 Sageless compositions now, as he chose Breach, which is smart on Ascent. You need to counter those operators. That was a very, very, very smart pick by Team Greg as a spike goes down on the A site.
Yeah, and it'll definitely aid them in making this retake more easily, as they definitely look to push on. Daddy finding a first kill, but he is really the only one who has stepped up and found those kills, finding 3 on the round. He will be on for the ace in this 1v4 now into a 1v2. Setting himself up, he has the overheal. He has the opportunity to make this work. Isolating the 1v1s, will be able to get himself back up to high health. The final remaining player is Toasty Unicorns. This is going to be a very difficult 1v1. This player is incredibly good. He is consistent. He hits his shots, but Daddy finding the kill will set himself up for success, but the ace will not matter if he is not able to win the round and Team Sky come out on top.
No way Daddy just pulled that off. I mean, that was crazy. Going up on the 1v1 against a professional tier 2 Valorant player, that is bold. That is very bold. That is exactly the kind of Valorant we want to see tonight. And of course, getting that ace as well. But he faked out Toasty not once, but twice. Wow. I mean, we are seeing some very, very, very exciting Valorant tonight. That is for sure.
Yeah, and that is just an amazing sign of what's to come. Team Sky just really, they're boding their time, they're baiting their time, they're really setting themselves up for success. And now we can see this mid take coming out really well for them. Team Greg really having to cede control of this middle area as their opponents have much better long-range weapons, and the weapons are stepping up as Toasty Unicorns and their Omen able to find 2 kills for themselves. Is now Team Greg forced back out of position, and it is just left onto the 2 rotating players from A. Is now Team Sky taking control of this B site.
Well, they got the door down as Clams is going to pick up a Spectre. He has been, in our other scrims, he has been very effective with that Spectre. Even though it does tend to get memed on a lot, as Penguin of Space does go down. It is a 1v4 situation here for Clams and that Spectre. I wouldn't expect much in this situation, but definitely later on, kill, he gets Toasty! And Face will take him out, but definitely keep an eye on Clams with that Spectre. He does tend to use it very effectively, so keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, we saw him getting clowned on in the lobby due to a bit of a lackluster performance in the previous game. It's all fun and games here. But looking for him to set up, getting the 1v1, bit of a disrespect coming up from Team Sky. Not only are they playing this warfare in the game, but they are also playing the mental game. They're getting in the heads of their opponents. And with a comeback on that previous game, shutting their opponents out pretty much on the second half, and starting strong, Team Greg are going to need some very strong mental resilience to come back.
Tries to go for the wallbang there on Dason, but of course that's not really going to work. You're going to want at least an Odin or something like that in order to get that wallbang as Heartstrike Diamond 1 holding down this B site here. We see the Reyna get the frag on the Cypher. This is going to be very interesting to see here as finally Team Sky seems to be Team Greg seems to be finally holding their sights down pretty well as they stop this B site push.
No, Yuffie going for the knife. He will miss it. Just goes for the gunshot instead over towards mid. A bit of disrespect nearly coming out.
That would be the second knife.
Over towards the main side of the map. Penguin of Space finding 2 kills before being taken out. Toasty Unicorns slotting himself over towards mid, but it was all a bait for their Omen. Finding 2 kills, but Heartstrike Diamond 1 finds the bomb, finds that spike, and that will be Yuffie now forced into this engagement, runs through the smoke, blinds up his opponent, does not connect on the frags, but will see him rotate back, will be spotted out by that recon dart, but will have the inside track in towards this B site, and really just playing this to a T. Instead, it goes for the...
He fakes him out!
So hard. He goes for the fake over towards the A site and instead goes for the plant. Waits for some reason, does give his opponent that ability to rotate over, and going for that rotate, not expecting Heartstrike Diamond 1 to be there so quickly, and all that big brain strategy for nothing, as we see Heartstrike Diamond 1 finding that kill, finding the frag, and finding the first on the board for the side of Team Greg.
Absolutely. I mean, that was just good effort by Yuffie. That was very impressive, but unfortunately not enough for this. Unfortunately, I mean, he's really trying hard. He's actually a top fragger right now for Team Sky. And keep in mind, he was near the bottom. Oh, Toasty Unicorns are calling for a technical pause on the side of Team Sky now, as Penguin of Space has disconnected. Hopefully we will get that technical pause soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't seem to get the technical pause in. I'm not sure why that did not happen.
Yeah, it looks like Team Greg just stepping up in this round. Not quite able to find the necessary kills as they need. As Team Greg now just left on to Penguin of Space, who did disconnect. He's just left alive in spawn will be eventually taken out. And it looks like they will have a bit more of a technical issue as he has unfortunately abandoned the match. We'll need to reconnect. As Team Greg, they look strong. They look to step up. They found a very good clutch in that bonus round, but they really needed to keep that weaponry strong as they moved forward. And Team Sky now in a very good position, money in their hands, weaponry, and really just setting up really well.
We may need to remake if they don't have the ability to pause. And get that Omen back in on
Joke's over! You're dead!
Team Sky. Or, sorry, on Team... Yeah, I think they're just gonna mess around.
Ooh, those
Revealing area.
arrows coming out really well from Toasty Unicorns.
I know
the
exactly.
Odin, the Tron Odin on Hardstuck Diamond 1. Looking for that spam through the walls, but it will not be able to find anything. So he is taken down as Team Greg, unfortunate, not performing with their lack of a fifth member, and Team Sky just running away with this match.
Yeah, I believe since they're unable to pause the match for technical reasons, we'll remake lobby, unfortunately. I don't know what went wrong there. Oh, Penguin in Space is back.
Reconnect. Here we go. It looks like he has reconnected.
Very complicated first
Shadows traveling.
half here, unfortunately, with the disconnect. We're trying to communicate with the players right now, see if they want to remake the lobby or if
Yeah, Team Sky offering to throw around to make this even. But they will
I know exactly where.
might not even need to throw around as they are finding some damage. Team Greg finding a great kill early on, but that will be traded back. Ultimates in favor of the side of Team Sky as Yuffie just finding a kill as they enter on towards the site. With the hitter, finding a frag before being traded out, and just Team Sky, they come out on top of every engagement. There's no one-for-one trade. It's always just a two-for-one going in favor of Team Sky. So they're just pushing in with the lead.
Well, it sounds like they didn't want to remake lobbies, so we will just continue with the gameplay as is. Team Sky did offer to throw around there. Of course, we had that disconnect on the side of Team Greg that I think ultimately resulted in them losing 2 rounds. So I'm not quite sure how they're going to recover from that, what the decision is from the players. Of course, we want to leave that decision with the players. Of course, the Omen is back now, and so looks like they're just going to continue with play rather than a remake of the lobby. Unfortunately, it seems we've forgotten the ability to pause the match for technical pauses, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, some issues still present in this game. As soon as you kill one, 5 more pop up in their place. A bit like the Hydra. But as we can see, Team Sky looking at flooding on towards the site is already 3 strong over towards this B side. Toasty Unicorns eviscerating the final remaining player on towards this site. Toasty Unicorns as well taking control over towards Market and towards Pizza as he looks to wrap up the final kill all the way back on towards B main, and they are just stomping their opponents. It was a very close first game, but this does not look to be anything like it, as they are just dominating their opponents.
Well, that Omen that of course we had the disconnect problem with has now picked up an operator. So we get some operator play finally here on Ascent. Of course, we tend to see those operators go more towards the mid site, or sorry, not mid site, mid area of the map. So it'll be interesting to see what Penguin in Space can pull off there. It looks like he's gonna hide more towards the back of B site here, closer towards the center side spawn. Is wow, Hardstuck Diamond 1 there with the double.
A great entry kill coming out from Heartstruck Diamond 1. But once again, Team Sky are able to push past them and get a man on towards site, but it will not matter. Daddy finding an initial kill, getting more damage on towards this B main push, as it is now just a 2v4 now. 1v2 as Dason finding 2 immaculate frags. Does have the spike in hand, will have the run it back to force these players out of position, popping both the curveballs, but will be blinded up by the Leer, unable to hit those shots as that ultimate times out. Will be back on to 100 points of health. A good step up for him, but both players, again, will have the crossfire. He will be able to isolate the 1v1, and that is exactly what he will do, finding a 3rd kill onto Daddy, and now the operator of Penguin of Space now tagged down to just 1 point of health. It does not matter how much health Dason is on. He will be able to find the 1-shot kill, but Dason will also have the 1-shot potential onto just the final points of health of Penguin of Space. Will go for the teleport, and that is just what he needs. Able to find that frag, shutting down the 1v3 opportunity from Dason. He was so close, but so far away, not quite able to make the 1v4 work.
You know, that was a very good effort from Dason. I mean, wow. Talk about an impressive performance there by the Phoenix, getting the spike down and really handling that 1v3. I saw that headshot on Daddy. That was just aggressive. You could tell he was hungry for some blood. He really wanted to get in there and get that clutch. Again, impressive performance there from the Omen, who, keep in mind, we had the disconnect earlier. He finally picks up that op. Well done.
Revealing area.
Yeah, and we've seen these players just really come back with a vengeance. And being on just 100 points of health, Dason needed to find those 1v1s perfectly, and he did immaculately. Nothing that you can take away from him, just a bit of an outplay with that Omen teleport. We can see the teleport coming out from Yuffie, not quite able to make it work, but Toasty Unicorns finding a second in this round. He's stepped up for his team time and time again. Once again, they look to move over towards mid and towards his B site, but meanwhile the spike rotating over towards A, a very interesting position, but it might just work out for timing as Clams rotating over picks out the spike. And while the attackers may have control of the site, they do not have the bomb to plant, and they will need to find some heroics once again as Dason finding a kill onto Clams.
Dason's gonna go for the spike. Check out Greg, though, with the Bucky. Unfortunately, gets taken down by CS4314.
Careful now.
Now it's time to see if Daddy can clutch it here in a 1v2 situation. Dason picking up the spike. 22 seconds left. He's got to either get that frag or get that spike down now, and it looks like he's gonna target the A site as Daddy tends to hang out more towards middle, try to figure out. He's got the sound cue now. He knows they're going towards the A site. Can Dason pull this off here? He gets the spike down. Now it is a 1v2 situation for Daddy. Spike is down on the A site. We shall see what he does. He's gonna pull out that Leer. And he's not gonna know that they're in hell. He sees. And Daddy gets Dason. Daddy with the clutch and the 3K.
Beautiful. That Leer pushed those players back perfectly with the garage door closed. CS4314 not able to fall back quite a ways. A bit of a misplay there. Not able to fall back into garden, and he was just picked off. Reyna then going invisible and invulnerable with that post-mortem ability. Able to find information onto the final remaining player below heaven, and then just able to isolate that with a beautiful swing to round out that kill with the 3K in the round. But incredible performance, once again stepping up for his team. It is just crazy to think that this player is Iron 1 and showing up at this level.
Careful now.
Well, check out Yuffie. Yuffie is now top fragging for Team Sky. which is a bit of an upset for Toasty Unicorns. Yuffie, of course, the Plat 3 last season, unranked this season of Valorant. That is very interesting to see him and the Omen top fragging, as they who seem to have a spike rotation more towards mid as they try to reposition.
I know exactly.
Yeah, and
where
we
you
can
are.
see frags going back either place. Toasty Unicorns taken out towards mid. Yuffie with that teleport up onto those rafters, able to find one. And it is now just left to the Sova of Hardstuck Diamond. One finds a good initial frag, but will be challenged again towards mid, taken down very low. And now will be in for a one-on-one. He does have the ultimate in his hands, but it will be very difficult for him to manage now. The door being closed as that Cypher lurking on towards site. Just minuscule amounts of health, 15 points of health onto Hardstuck Diamond. So he will have to suss out this player in hell, drops down, will be backstabbed. And Team Sky, they very close round, too close for comfort in that 1v3, but just able to take that in their favor.
I have to admit, that was a clutch from Faith there, a Wild J, when Team Sky needed it the most to help maintain that lead and help stop Team Sky, or sorry, yeah, to help stop Team Greg from making their comeback as they had won 2 rounds in a row. Talk about a well-done 1v1 performance, played it well. That was very impressive.
Yeah, that looks just incredibly well for the side of Team Sky, stepping up exactly when they needed them to. And CS4314, we saw him step up in those previous games. He is stepping up once again on that jet, finding kills over towards Garden, pushing in over towards A, wrapping through spawn. The Toasty Unicorns just eviscerating the defenders over towards the B site. Daddy will find a kill, but is not able to stay alive with that overheal as Toasty Unicorns picks up a second into this round and is just left onto the breach, holding down that A site to find this 1v4 clutch, which is in through ward spawn, and Toasty Unicorns isolating that 1v1, finds his 3rd kill of the round, making an impact. We heard you were saying that it was a bit of a surprise that Yuffie was topping the leaderboard, Toasty not letting him take that limelight for very long. So he takes that spot back for himself, 15-6 in just the first half, looking incredibly confident.
Absolutely, and here we go, the last round before the swap here, as Team Sky holding a pretty solid lead here on Ascent. Wasn't expected. This is actually Toasty Unicorn's worst map, as we see Daddy trying to go there with a little bit of a wallbang. We shall see what Team Greg does to prevent a potential match point situation coming up very soon for Team Sky if the momentum continues.
And finding these frags is definitely a good first step. They're going on the aggressive, but maybe a bit too aggressive as Hardstuck Diamond 1 trading with Dason. As CS4314 finding that advantage with great headshot onto the Reina of Daddy. The top fragger going out as now they pull this one back. What was looking to be such a good round for the side of Team Greg now rotating over towards Team Sky's favor as they're able to find 2 kills. And all of a sudden, Team Greg rotating this one back and forth between these 2 teams. But Team Sky will end the half on the advantage, 8-4. This is looking very good.
Absolutely, and you know what? I have to admit, I was not expecting this strong of a performance in that round from Team Greg. They got the entry frags at the right time when they needed it the most, and then they were able to get the cleanup there with the teamwork there from Penguin Space and Greg. Absolutely well done performance there as they get the round. As we now go back to pistols in the second half of this round. Team Sky with an 8-4 lead.
Yeah, and this pistol will be very crucial for the side of Team Greg to win. If they lose it, they likely will be up against double digits, and that is not what you want to see while you are just on 4 points. 4 rounds in the standings, and a rush coming out, not working out in their favor. Jason finding a ton of damage on towards these players as frags just going over over towards Team Sky as they now drop down that door. Team Greg able to get themselves on towards site. The Toasty Unicorns pulling the attention away as Dason backstabs them and finds a quadra kill.
Dason popped off there.
Popping off.
Absolutely. Dason popped off there. Very smart of him to rotate like he did over to A Rafters. I mean, that was something else from Dason. I mean, he definitely popped off there. I believe it was a 4K for Dason, as he now is the second to top fragger. He actually tied very close there with Toasty Unicorns. So many players right now. It's not just Toasty being super strong. So many players on Team Sky are just popping off right now and really showing off their true potential.
Yeah, entering this match, I really thought it was going to be the Toasty Unicorns show, and the first map was, to his credit, very good from him. But the members of Team Sky are really doing their part. They're stepping up, and they're performing incredibly well. And now we see Team Greg finding the advantage in this 4th buy round. Dason has been stepping up, and he will look to take the lead in terms of scoring as he finds a double kill in this round. Looking at shutting down this post-plant position. Toasty Unicorns with a kill onto Clams, and it is just left onto Daddy with the Reyna. He has been incredible this game so far, but he will not be able to do it all for his team, and Team Sky find double digits.
Absolutely, and here we go. They're just a few points away, a few rounds away from the match point, and of course, the series point here in this best of 3 Team Sky, showing that not only did they perform well on the attacker's side, but they perform well on the defender's side on Ascent as well. We're really starting to see Team Greg kind of just fall apart here, unfortunately. It's really sad to see after such a close first map on Haven. Was hoping to see a little bit more from Team Greg now here, as Daddy just takes down Yuffie instantly. I mean, no contesting there.
And that is exactly what we want to see. But it does have to be a bit more than just this Reyna stepping up. This Reyna has performed incredibly poor. They need to have their wits about them. As we can see, the rotates coming in for the side of Team Sky is there, just backstabbing this mid-control. Toasty Unicorns finding a 3K, looking to round this one out with a 4K. Breach all the way over on towards this A site. He was lurking over there. He did find some map control, but really the side of Team Sky just eviscerating those players in towards mid with a great flank from B and A. Now this Breach tagged down from afar, not able to set this one up, and Team Greg falling down as Team Sky edge themselves closer to map and series point.
And there you can see Wild J there with the final kill there. That was very impressive. A lot of damage was dealt between the two, but she was able to come up on top there. And that was just, you couldn't have asked for a better round for Team Sky. We thought maybe Team Greg could show some strength here, but unfortunately just couldn't quite pull it off that round. We will see if they will go out with a whimper, or if they'll go out with a bang here in these last couple of rounds as we get closer and closer to match and series point.
And Yuffie starting this one out strong with mid control, the side of Team Sky looking and setting themselves up perfectly. Daddy with a good leer, able to get that mid control, but Toasty Unicorns on the other side of the map, able to shut down that initial B push, as now Team Sky enter this mid round with the distinct advantage, mid control in their hands.
CS4314 with the frag on Daddy. That was very strong. Honestly thought Daddy was going to win that battle, but couldn't quite connect his shots there, as we see Golden Cabbage with the Marshall just trying to get something done here in this 3v2 situation. He does get a frag on the Cypher, and Clams goes down by Dason, and Dason with the double. Very impressive play by him, finishing up that round, and we now have match point and series point for Team Sky, and a very dominant performance by them on Ascent.
Yeah, they really are all just stepping up in this match, and the same can't be said about their opponents. Daddy, he's just a monster in this match.
He is
21 and 15, the top frag of either team, despite being down 4-12, likely against 8 successive match points. This is gonna go the side of Team Sky 9 times out of 10. And it looks like they're ending things with some festivities. It's a knife round in mid as Daddy finds the first kill of the round.
Those the unicorns with the shock darts. You love to see it getting fancy there using his Sova utilities and the knife round. You love to see it, honestly. You love to see it. These players, they're just here to have some fun. It's nice and casual. Yes, we do have some, you know, more serious Valorant players joining us with high elo, but ultimately everyone's just here to have a good time, and it's a lot of fun. It really is here at the Brycero Valorant Scrim night.
Yeah, now Toasty Unicorn's left alive in a 1v2. He did take 0 damage in that previous 1v1. So it makes it very, very beneficial for him going later into this round. So we can now see both of these players being stunned up as he looks to eliminate this lower member. He does get tagged up once, now will be 1 hit away from death. They carry out this standout. He looks to bait them in around these corners. He drops down that sensor dart to enhance those
Toasty Unicorn!
2 kills on for the 4K and utilizing that BM of Big Pizza to get themselves into match and series point. Team Sky ending it with a bang.
Absolutely. I mean, you could tell even in the knife round, they were confident. I mean, that was just crazy. I mean, congratulations. We have to give a huge congratulations to Team Sky there. But, I mean, you have to admit, the performance from Team Greg, it really was spectacular. It wasn't just, even though this last round was this last map was 13-4, they really showed up. And I think, honestly, what did it for them, in a sense, was probably that disconnect, which cost them a round, unfortunately, due to the in-game error of not being able to pause. I really think that hopefully they will come back in the future. We will see Golden Cabbage as a team captain again, but we have to give a huge congratulations to Team Sky. Without their leader tonight, keep that in mind, he had to be substituted due to a last-minute issue. Congratulations, though, to Team Sky. You have won the Brycero Valorant Scrim night. Congratulations. I'll throw it back to us on the caster cams. What did you think of that? I mean, we've never really done anything quite like this before. Keep in mind, these were all teams that were constructed last night, just 24 hours ago. And then the issues for Team Sky, keep in mind, 2 of their players had to be substituted out. Their team captain and one of their other players had to be substituted out last minute, just minutes before we were supposed to get started. And they still pulled it off. And they didn't just pull it off, they pulled it off quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, they really just stepped it up incredibly well there. They obviously just have some team synergy as Yuffie, Dason, and Toasty Unicorns really just heading up the scoreboard in both of those games. I really love to see it. Some great banter in between the lobbies. Obviously, just having fun here. So really awesome to see. Awesome to see both of these teams. Daddy, obviously, the standout pick of this game. Iron 1 and top fragging in both of those games. Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely, and it sounds like we're going to get set up for some interviews really fast. We want to go ahead and talk, of course, to the team captain, a Wild J, Faith. Believe it or not, no, the team captain that subbed in for Sky wasn't in fact Toasty or anyone like that. We saw a Wild J who was near the bottom of the leaderboard throughout most of that gameplay, but you saw her being the spike plant for both maps. I mean, she really just did that well. Of course, we want to... Do you have an MVP that you think really performed well in this game?
Well, I think that I would have to give it over to Daddy. Definitely the player that I didn't expect to do this well. Toasty Unicorn getting up both games. Pretty expected. I love Big Pizza. Big fan. Very unfortunate that they did disband. but it happens sometimes. So I expected him to do well, and so Daddy coming out of left field with such a strong performance, given the circumstances, I definitely give him the MVP, despite going down 2-0.
Absolutely. Despite the losses there, Daddy, I mean, he really just had consistent gameplay on the Reyna. Like I said, I thought going Reyna was really dumb. I really did. I cannot believe that they pulled it off with a Reyna. Like, what? Like, we're seeing a Reyna in competitive play here. Again, keep in mind, it is, you know, more casual play here, but we want to try to take things as seriously as possible. And Team Greg just comes out of left field here with, I mean, seriously, I mean, with a Reyna? I mean, but they knew he could get the frags, so we'll go ahead and drag on in. First of all, we need to go ahead and talk to the team captain of Team Sky. I mean, we have to talk to her really fast and get her reaction, so we'll go ahead and drag her on in here and say hello to Faith, who is joining us here on the broadcast. Faith, how you doing tonight? Faith? She might be AFK. She might be AFK. Okay, alright. We will drag in... How about Dason? Or no, we'll drag in Toasty. We'll drag in Toasty. Yeah, we'll say hello to Toasty really fast. Hey Toasty, you're on the Brycero broadcast. How you doing tonight?
What's going on, guys?
So, obviously, that Haven map you were really worried about, and the Ascent map you were very worried about. You said Ascent was your worst map. What are your thoughts after taking this 2-0?
I'll be honest here. I mean, I think the players were really good. God, Penguin, no chance. You think I ever had a chance against Penguin of Space? But I think that honestly, the players played really well. Unfortunate on the DC on the second map.
Yeah, I was really, as soon as I saw that, I knew that was going to do it for Team Greg. I mean, and it was unfortunate. Unfortunately, we didn't set up the lobby correctly, but so much going on here. Al, you got any questions for Toasty here?
Yeah. Is this the new Big Pizza lineup?
No way we're saying that. No way.
No way.
Yeah. But, you know, I do still talk with the Big Pizza boys though at the lead. But I don't know. I think the games were pretty fun. I tried giving it, you know, its effort into the game so that it wouldn't be too. I came into this. I was like, I'll put some effort. So it won't be too easy, I guess, or too hard on them. But they played really well, actually.
So you're actually impressed with how everybody played.
Yeah.
That is surprising to hear. What are your thoughts on Daddy? How do you think Daddy did? I mean, we saw him top fragging constantly. I mean,
I'll be honest here. Daddy and I never really got into many gunfights, but he hard fragged the game. So I mean, I'm really impressed overall.
Yeah, you really have to give the respect to him. I mean, he was putting up very similar numbers in terms of KDA, honestly, to you, and I wasn't expecting that at all, considering he's just Iron 1. I mean, neither me or Al would have guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, he's a hard fragger.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much, Toasty. Any thoughts you want to say to, of course, the very small audience watching on Twitch, and of course, everyone else you played with tonight?
Well, I just say GG to everyone else. Please nerf Jet, and then that's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Have to agree with you there. All right, thank you so much, Toasty Unicorns. We loved having you tonight. Thank you so much.
Much appreciated. Thanks, guys.
All right, we're going to talk now to Faith, who is, of course, the team captain for Team Sky. Faith, you're on the broadcast. Welcome.
Hey there.
All right, Al, what do you want to hear from the team captain? What are we wanting to?
Yeah, I really liked the sageless strategy moving into the first map. What really motivated you guys to avoid that sage in comparison to your opponents who did run that operator?
It was mainly the fact that she had gotten nerfed so much that even though I had mained her like full time before, I didn't see her worth playing. Because you could just push right through that wall. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, the walls really did play a big role before the nerfs. I mean, you could really use those walls to block off a res, really get yourself the protection you need. Of course, on the defensive side, you could really use a wall to help stop an aggressive push or at least delay it. So I think it was a smart decision with the nerfs to go, of course, Cypher, get that intel you need. Of course, you got the double intel going with the Sova and the and the Cypher. How do you think your team did overall? I mean, obviously y'all won 2-0. That Haven map was a really, really close game. How are y'all feeling after that Haven map going into the second map?
After Haven, we kind of felt it was a bit unfair because of how hard we swung back after that. And then it was pretty easy from there. So we kind of thought that maybe if we didn't have the 2 people on our team dip out, it would have been a lot more fair and even.
Yeah.
We might have even just lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate we had to get those substitutions in last minute. Obviously, you know, with the Plat 3 player subbing in. If you're Team Greg, you got to be very frustrated about that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I was pretty nervous after that Haven map. I honestly thought, you know, Ascent would be close, especially with it not being Toasty's, you know, favorite map. I mean, I wasn't quite sure what to expect in terms of that second map, but the DC went in y'all's favor for sure, and that was unfortunate that happened. But any other thoughts after I mean, keep in mind, you were not supposed to be team captain. You were not supposed to be making any of the decisions at all, but yet here you are. I mean, how do you think it went?
I think it went good, in my opinion. It just really disappointed me, the fact that 2 people had to dip out last minute. But besides that, it was more or less how I expected it would be.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Faith. Al, you got anything you want to add on to that, or are we good?
No, the platform's yours to the millions of people watching on Twitch. Do you have any words for them?
No?
Those one-ways I was trying to do, I was so annoyed when nobody pushed the site after that. I've been practicing them for an entire week.
Well, we'll have to see those another time. That'll
Absolutely.
be exciting to see.
All right. Thanks so much, Faith. All right. Let's see if we can pull someone in here from team. Yeah, we have to talk to Daddy. We have to talk to Daddy. I mean, top fragging with Reyna. Hey, Snoopy, you are on the broadcast. What's up?
Oh, hello.
How you doing after an unfortunate loss for you guys? How are y'all feeling? What is your team's reaction so far?
Very good.
Very good. Why is that?
Well, I don't know.
don't know.
The second round was kind of like, we knew we were screwed, so we just had a fun time.
That knife round at the end was not something I was expecting at all.
Oh, yeah.
How did that go? Did y'all just all of a sudden see knives from Team Sky and decide to play along, or was that pre-planned?
Well, I wanted to knife them, then they actually did it, so it was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw 2 amazing maps coming out from you. How does that feel? Going up against some Plat 3s, some Immortals on the opposition, those are no slouches. That is not the performance that we were expecting from an Iron 1 player. You must feel real happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can now upgrade to like Bronze 1 now. And I think I'm a Bronze 1 player now. So I'm very happy about that.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely you came out of left field here, honestly. I mean, we were not expecting that at all. I think Al especially was super surprised. Snoopy, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We really enjoyed watching you play.
Yeah.
We will see you later. Hopefully you'll come back for more Valorant Scrim nights.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk really fast here to Penguin of Space, who went up, I believe it was against Toasty multiple times. Hey, it's Penguin of Space, you're on the broadcast. How you doing tonight?
Good.
Well, it was an unfortunate loss, 0-2, but y'all were very confident at the beginning of that Haven map. What was sort of your mentality going into Haven? What were you guys trying to pull off?
I feel like it was a bit easier on attack in the first round, because I feel like everyone wasn't quite as warmed up as Toasty was, so when Toasty was, we were able to get away from Toasty pretty easier when we were attacking on that map, I feel.
Absolutely. And do you have any questions for the Omen here from Team Greg? I mean, he didn't quite make as much of... I would say he made more of a statement than I was expecting from the Omen. We saw some very interesting teleports from him on that Haven map. What are your thoughts, Al?
Yeah. I was gonna more ask. So your strategy going against Toasty was, I guess, similar to a lot of people in CS going against Simple. Just kind of figure out what site he's playing and just go the other way.
Yeah, we were trying to get away from him, try and get an easy pick on him, see what we could do to get him out of the picture.
Nice.
Nice. All right, we'll finish up our interviews here. I wanted to quickly talk to Yuffie, who on Team Sky had that almost clutch. I don't know if you remember that. On the Ascent map, it was Yuffie with the teleport. We want to go ahead and talk to him. Yeah, the teleport.
Nearly a 1v4.
Yeah, it was like 1v3 or something like that. He didn't quite pull it off, but it was aggressive. I mean, we'll pull in Yuffie really fast here. Hey Yuffie, how you doing? You're on the broadcast.
Hello.
Hey, so what are your
I'm doing
thoughts
fantastic.
tonight? Y'all obviously pulled off a very impressive win. We saw some clutches from you on Ascent, which we thought were impressive. The teleport fake unfortunately didn't quite pull off. But how are you feeling? I mean, it was a very interesting performance from you tonight. We were definitely not expecting that either. The Omens really showed up tonight.
I'm chilling. I was like, that was my first time playing Omen, like
Really?
ever. So there was a lot of times where I was like stuck in my smoke thing and panicking and trying to figure out how to get out of it and putting smokes and walls and stuff. What are my thoughts? I don't know. It's pretty cool, like thing that you guys got going on. Like, you got all your, like, I'm looking at your stuff. You got all your graphics. You got co-commentator. This shit's pretty cool.
We're trying to give a little bit of, we're trying to shine a little bit of light on the amateur Valorant scene, give them a nice good show, and see them play. Obviously, I mean, Al, you got any questions?
Yeah. Just those teleports on the second half. Those seem really coordinated with Toasty. Both collapsing on that mid. Was that something that you guys prepared before the game, or is that just spontaneous synergy?
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. So absolutely not. Like,
Yeah. You guys. I think it was Heartstuck Diamond 1 who's playing in Pizza, and Toasty would push every time that you would teleport, and it was either you getting killed and then Toasty immediately finding the frag, or Heartstuck trying to find the kill and then you would instantly find the frag. So you guys just looked like very crisp.
oh, thank you. I was legitimately just teleporting for fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Future Omen main?
And it worked. Yeah, honestly, I was like playing and I was like, shit, I should maybe start playing this champion. Like, because
Well-
I honestly, like, when I usually play Jet, and it's like very feast or famine. I do really good or really bad, and Omen's like useful for no matter what, so I might play him.
it's always nice to discover new things about your playstyle, you know, new agents that, and of course we're super happy you had a lot of fun tonight. Thanks so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, GG, bye bye.
All right, one last interview here. Of course, we want to talk to Clams from Team Greg. We'll bring him on in. Might be a little loud here. Hey, Clams, you're on the broadcast. You there?
Hi.
How are you feeling? Obviously, the disconnect after Ascent was unfortunate and really did it for Team Greg. But besides that, I mean, were you impressed with your team's performance going up against such a hard stack from Team Sky?
Yes, I was not expecting the last minute pick of a plat, but that was a very painful loss.
Absolutely, and we saw a lot of intel coming from you and a lot of very crucial frags during the trades. What was sort of your mentality going into this game?
Don't die too much.
Just that? No.
Yeah,
no,
pretty
no,
much.
No cipher, no fancy cipher setups or anything. I mean, how are you
Nah.
doing? Really?
I just freaking go with the flow, man. I walk in, place traps, and hope they actually do something. And then I walk away and fire my gun. That's pretty much how I play the game.
I mean, those traps gave you guys crucial info multiple times. I mean, they were very well placed.
Man, I learned from, I'm pretty sure it was Dason who taught me how to run Cypher the way I do.
So
And I pretty much just sprouted off that.
How was it going up against some of your friends, of course, Dason and Faith, on the opposing team? Was there any little bit of rivalry there? I mean, I saw some teabagging from Faith occasionally.
Yeah.
What was that like?
She loves to teabag, and then she gets kind of annoyed whenever somebody decides to run the toxic on her. Dason, it was painful having to watch my teammates get insta-domed whenever they turned a corner from him, and I already knew he played Phoenix. It was either Phoenix or Silver for him.
Interesting stuff. Well, we're so glad you joined us tonight. Al, you got any questions for the Cypher from Team Greg?
No, you pretty standout performances. I heard some accusations of hacking in the intergame lobby. A pretty crazy scoreline that first map out, definitely warranting some of those claims. So I'll be excited to see how you perform in some of our other scrim nights.
Alright, man.
Thanks so much for joining us. And that is gonna do it for tonight's scrim night. 13-9 on Ascent. Team Greg takes the victory on Ascent. On Haven. And then on Ascent, Team Greg. Not Team Greg. Team Sky takes the victory on Ascent as well. And a 2-0. Was hoping maybe we would get to see a third map, but we did kind of run a bit late. Thank you so much to our fantastic co-caster who is so much better than me at this. That boy Al taking us play-by-play. Absolutely amazing. He's got an amazing voice. He's just so good at what he does, and I'm so glad he joined us tonight. Really made the broadcast amazing, so thumbs up to him. Thank you to everyone who watched, and of course a huge thank you to everyone who played. Of course, team captains Greg, Sky, and of course Faith, who subbed in for Sky tonight. Thank you guys. This wouldn't have been possible without everyone who played, so I really do thank you guys. Thank you to everyone who helped out. Thank you everyone who's helped out, whether it was, me and Al here on the broadcast, or whether it was graphics, or whether it was, of course, our wonderful event admin, I'm Just Rue. It really was an amazing night. Thank you everyone who made this possible. And yeah, that's going to do it for our Brycero Valorant Scrim night. We will see you guys in the future.